Here we are. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Antoine Thomas with the Silverline Real Estate Group. And man, I am honored to be joined today with one of my business partners, Mr. Scott Foltz. Scotty, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. You looking good? Looks like you're ready to rock.
I'm ready to go. I love it. This is awesome.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Let's get into it, baby. So Silverline Real Estate TV is something that we're going to be doing weekly. If you have not tuned in before, just to give you a heads up, we're going to make sure we keep you guys up to speed what is happening in not only the real estate market, but just in here in our community, but around really across the nation. You know, we really tap into what is happening everywhere. All right. So this is episode 3. I believe episode 3 already, man. Goodness gracious. So it's been a pretty good start of the year. And the topic that we're going to talk about today is why waiting will actually cost you not only time, but also money. Okay. And by the way, before we get into the topic, I want to make it very clear of this. Okay. So pay attention. All right. Mr. Scott Foltz has been with our company for a little over a year, and the knowledge he's going to give you today is going to be very good knowledge that could save you a lot of time and money, help you be able to achieve what you want to achieve with less hassle, less, stress. So make sure you pay attention. And this will be one that you probably want to rewind and listen to. And if you are, let's say you have family, friends, or people, coworkers, people that you know that maybe wanted to purchase a home or sell a home, be a friend, be a good family member, brother, sister, share it, share the love, right? This is valuable information that I'm sure other people could really use and put to work. Okay. So Scotty, hey, let's hop right in, brother. Start us off, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think one thing that I hear on a daily basis when people are looking at homes, especially, is, man, I think I just want to wait. I'm working on my credit. That's a very common thing. I'm just working on my credit. And that's awesome. Obviously, there are minimum scores you have to have in order to finance a home, with a lender and everything. So I get it. That makes total sense. But I think my biggest issue with that is, we work every day hand in hand with multiple people, multiple lenders at some of the best institutions for mortgages, who are going to be so helpful. And that's just their job, and they do it for free. It's not credit counseling, anything like that. They provide those services, but at no charge, and they're in it for the long haul. So when I hear people, I'm so complimentary when people say, "Oh, I'm working on my credit." Like, that's great. I'm so glad that you're taking it upon yourself to do that. Yeah. But there's help out there. Like, man, it's such a big deal. And I wouldn't try to perform dental surgery on myself, so, man, there's a lot of money to be saved. And like you said, time and money, and time is money. Absolutely. So, let me connect you with someone who can help with that.
Yeah. And you mentioned something that I actually want to touch further on. And you mentioned that people want to help themselves, and people want to, make sure that ultimately they're making the best decision. And what I have found personally is when people decide to, let's say, wait to start a process, right? I want to wait to start until this happens, or I want to wait and start until I feel ready. And I'm sure you would agree with this, Scott, because I know you've had people you spoke with that kind of had the same limiting belief. A lot of people, whether it's credit, whether it's having a lease, and I'm talking about buying, credit, having a lease, or, being able to have a certain amount of money down to be able to purchase a home, which, by the way, most people who said they want to save a certain amount of money, they never have the certain amount in their head of what is that number. And a lot of people actually are very shocked to learn after we speak with them that you don't need really any money down to purchase a property. As a matter of fact, we could help you get into homes without any money down, right? And exactly. A question I have for you is, and for the people, for the audience, not for you, Scotty, is if we could help you find the home you're looking for, the home of your dreams, right? And be able to save you thousands of dollars. As a matter of fact, help you make thousands of dollars by buying a house. Could that benefit you? Would that be worth learning more about? And these are questions that we were asking a lot. And we just felt like, you know what? We need to get this out on video, because a lot of people are waiting until a month before their lease expires for them to start the home buying process. Scott, do you have anything to add to that?
No, and that's exactly right. And just in anything that you do, whenever you can involve a professional, that's what they do every single day. I mean, it's going to save you headaches and time and money, stress, just everything. So yeah, there's so many things. Like, I'm waiting for this to happen. I'm waiting for the stars to align. But we'll help them align a lot faster in most cases. So yeah, that's a huge thing. Yeah, I'm saving money. When you brought that up, it makes me think. I remember we had a discussion on this one time about, with property values going up as fast as they have in the area, people say, man, I need to save X amount of dollars. So I'm going to rent another year. It's like, man, I get it, but are you really saving that money? Or is it cheaper to get out of the rent right now and use that money towards a purchase? Because $150,000 house today, a year from now, could be 160, 165. And were you able to save $10,000 or $15,000?
Right. Yeah. The appreciation rate is outpacing the amount of money you're going to be able to save ultimately in a year. So if you think about it that way. Scott, I have a question for you. So a scenario where, let's say, a first-time home buyer, right? They have a lease expiring in April. Mm-hmm. What information, guidance, what would you advise that person if they were planning on not renewing the lease and being a homeowner in 2021? What advice would you give that person?
Yeah, so their lease is up in April. I mean, if you would have said November, I would have said, let's meet today. So, that kind of, the date is kind of irrelevant, but April really lights a fire. One of the first things people think is, I don't want to do this too soon. But man, that getting pre-approved, unless you know what your scores are, you may have a little bit of work, and not all that can be done in a month for some people. I always use the example, like you're going to have at least 30 days of no mortgage, basically. If you close on a house today, you wouldn't have a payment, a mortgage, the rest of January. I almost forgot what month we're in. It's almost February. We wouldn't have a payment the rest of this month, and you wouldn't have one in February. So basically, you might go a month where you have two payments, or if you've prepaid your apartment, your rent, you might still not have any. So yeah, today is not too soon to get going. So that's a big thing. Another misconception that people have, for sure.
Absolutely, and our goal is always to prevent an overlap of payments. Like, we don't want you having to purchase a house and now you got to make your lease payment, and it's probably the last month you're going to be there. So you probably won't even be in your rental, whether it's an apartment or a home, for that full month. You'll be moving. Excuse me. But and by the way, we do this a lot. We work with we actually specialize in first-time home buyers. So a lot of those buyers are going to be coming from an apartment or a rental, and we're able to avoid, again, it's about helping you keep the money in your pocket, and we can prevent that the sooner you act. Okay. But obviously you got to make that decision for yourself. And I will say too, Scott, in regards to, let's say, let me give you another scenario. Somebody who has credit issues, right? And, typically most people don't even really know what their credit score is. I know a lot of people say Credit Karma. Just so you know, Credit Karma isn't the most accurate. It's a great tool to use, but kind of like the Zestimate, it's a tool, and I would never make business decisions off a Zestimate. I would never make a business decision off my Credit Karma credit score. And just so you know as well, if you're not aware, mortgage companies, they go off your middle score. They don't go off your high score or your low score. Credit Karma only gives you 2 scores. So you don't even know what your third score is, right? I just wanted to mention that. But my question for you, Scott, if somebody had credit work because maybe Credit Karma is saying, let's say 600, right? And this person was still wanting to be able to be a homeowner this year, and they're in a rental lease that maybe is November when it expires, what would you suggest to that person?
Again, speaking with a professional lender who is going to pull your credit, your actual credit scores, and know what their company is going to be able to approve you for, like, based on your score. You know, if you're going for a USDA loan, there's a minimum score. So
Yep.
you need to know that exact number, you know, and the lender needs to know it. So,
Yep.
and then after they get the exact number, the accurate number, they'll provide you with a plan, a strategy of how quickly and how efficiently and effectively can we get your score up. And, you know, I was with a lender in a consultation the other day, and he said, listen, you know, just looking at your you know, the credit issues going on right now, there's one here that's been turned over to a collection agency. You know, here's how to go about that. And here's a strategy. I've heard of lenders giving scripts for you to make those uncomfortable phone calls.
Wow.
Yeah, the sooner you can get on those. Yeah. I mean, to just have someone that tells you, pay this amount towards this card by this date, call this number, tell these people this sentence, you know, to have someone in your corner like that for free. It's just, yeah, there's like, don't wait, don't ever wait. Learn that information and get rolling with it.
And it's funny because both of your answers were the same. Two different questions, but the same answer. So, and the reason why it's the same answer is because it is the same answer. No matter what, if you got bad credit, you need to act on it quickly now. You need to talk to a professional now, because don't try to do it yourself. Credit, even myself to today, I'm still learning, right? How to navigate through that to get my credit score the highest it could ever be, right? And the beautiful thing is you don't have to do it yourself, right? So no matter what your situation is, you got to act fast, act accordingly. After you receive information, you then have to implement, take more action, right? Otherwise, again, you can have a wise man. Yeah, they learn, but a wise man takes action. That's how you get stuff done. So, yeah, Scotty, why don't we move on? Why don't we talk about, was there anything else you want to touch on that before we move on?
Well, I mean, just quickly, this is kind of an anecdote, but, you know, if you've got this stabbing pain in your side, you're probably not going to say, you know what, I'm just going to wait until next week because I'm kind of busy right now, or, you know, whatever, maybe it'll go away, that kind of stuff. So I tend to liken this kind of stuff to even some medical things, like find out what it is and deal with it, and, you know, get the ball in your court. The timeline is in your hands now. So.
Yeah. Scott, will you mind giving the audience, the kind audience, and be real quick, everybody, please don't be afraid. If you have a comment or a question, go ahead and leave a comment and a question, and I'll bring it up on the screen, and I'll be happy, myself and Scott, to answer it for you, live for you. But if you're nervous to put a question out there, that's completely fine. Reach out to us individually. You'll have our contact information. We'll be happy to help you as well offline. Scott, what would you, can you give everybody a snapshot of what the market is looking like right now if you're a buyer?
If you're a buyer, you got to be patient, but you got to be ready to act immediately. Like it's an interesting market right now. There are so few homes available in our county, in Tippecanoe County right now. So many of them are getting multiple offers. It's definitely, when you hear the phrase seller's market or buyer's market, there is some buyer's market going on with the super low interest rates for sure. But in terms of inventory and in all that, I mean, it is a seller's market. So yeah, as a buyer, you've got to have all your ducks in a row. You've got to be ready to pounce, you know, as soon as you see something. And as, you know, their agent, you know, we're looking through the listings every day, every hour, ready to hit showings and stuff, because there's no, hey, can we go see this weekend? Probably not.
Right, because it sold 5 days ago.
Yeah.
But it just hit the market today. Hey, that's how crazy I'm being funny right now, but that is how crazy the market is. The seller is going to pick the buyer who is going to be most serious, who presents the best offer, and you can't present a good offer if you don't have your ducks in a row, right? Yeah, you got to have everything lined up, ready to rock. You got to literally outperform the other buyers in the market. You're a real estate professional like us. We can only do so much. We'll give you the shovel, and tell you where to dig, but you got to do the digging, right? So part of giving you the shovel and telling you where to dig is what we're doing right now in virtually, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Why don't we talk about some sellers? Why don't we talk about, doing repairs prior to listing the home? You want to touch on that?
Yeah, that's another thing that definitely people say, well, I'm just waiting. I'm going to do some work on the home and everything. And again, get a professional opinion. There's easy math and science behind return on investment. A lot of people think, well, yeah, I really want to fix this, or I really want to paint that, or, the colors. I know the gray and white are the real modern things right now. And some of those are great, and some will potentially sell your house faster, but a lot of sellers, their bottom line is the bottom line. It's, what they're going to net. So if they can, if it takes 2 days longer, but they net 5,000 more, that's probably a good fine with a lot of sellers. So we definitely like to counsel people on, hey, listen, the houses that we see every day, you're going to sell it just fine without doing that work. Or, hey, if you do this one repair and it costs $800, you can expect to make $5,000, So
Exactly.
There are some of those that is an ideal situation, but so many people, I think, oh, I've got to get everything perfect and it's going to take me months, and it's just not financially sound to do that.
It's funny too that you mentioned that, and we all know, myself and Scott were homeowners, and as a matter of fact, this time last year I did a $30,000 renovation of the home. Listen, renovations, paint, whatever it is, that stuff is not cheap, right? And the crazy thing is, and I know Scott will agree, you can put 3,000, you can have professional painters come out, spend 3,000 on paint and the labor to paint the whole house, right? You can renovate a bathroom. Now, let's say you leave it at that, right? So you're probably about, $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000 in. You put it on the market, you have a buyer walk through the house and they're looking like, oh, I hate what they did with the color. And you're like, oh my God. And obviously, like, I'm going to get that feedback. Scott's going to get that feedback, because we want to know when showings are happening on our sellers' homes, we want to make sure that, hey, why is there no offer coming in? Well, they didn't like the paint color. Are you kidding me? Our seller put $4,000 into painting the house, right? So you got to be cognizant of that. You got to make sure that and if you're going to paint, that's fine, but make sure you just ask questions to your professional so we can guide you. I've seen people paint their homes a dark blue color, and I ask them, did you paint your house that color because it was for you, or are you painting it for the next owner? And you got to ask yourself, excuse me, those type of questions, because, hey, you're putting money into something. You want to make sure, like Scott mentioned, you get your money back. And I would say too, Scott, we're going to have to do another show talking about, if you are going to put money into your house, where you should put money.
Yeah.
You want to do another show about that?
That would make total sense. Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be a great follow-up show.
Exactly. We've done the research on that. We know dollar for dollar, percentage of returns, or, all that. So
absolutely. It's very important. It gets even with a beautiful market that we're in right now, we are very blessed to have low rates for a buyer. You're able to really capitalize on historically low rates. And by the way, rates are going up a little bit. Now they're still low, but a lot of people who are waiting, again, this topic is about why waiting can cost you time and money. Well, the longer you wait, the more likely you're not going to capture that 275. You may capture that 335, right? And that is a big difference when you're talking about a 30-year term, even just monthly, just based on $100 difference. Some people can't afford that $100 difference. So now you can afford less home than you did before. And that can actually take you all the way out the market. But I will say, Scotty, I think we're already about 25 minutes. Do you want to add anything else in here for the people?
No, again, whether you're thinking about it in April or November, December, meet with us. We'll get you set on the right path. I always say I want to act and make decisions based on what I know. We don't know what the interest rates are going to be like in 6 months or 10 months or whatever. We don't know what the inventory is going to be like. And if you don't ever do the research and figure out what you need to do, you'll just never do it. And you're going to probably be in another year lease or 2-year lease. So yeah, it's never too soon. We've worked with a great lender, and his motto is always, I'm not going to give up on you until you give up on you. And I love that. And it's the truth. And people can't imagine, well, what if it takes me 1.5 years to find a house because I need to work on my credit and I need to do this? Okay. Yeah. You're going to appreciate it much more. We're going to appreciate it. So
we're not going nowhere.
I know, exactly.
We're going to be here to make sure you get there. If it takes you 5 years, we've had clients that took them 3 years, like literally. And there was tears being shed at the closing due to the journey, right? And that's the beauty of it all. But if you can avoid that, like Scott says, why not take action now? Get the information at least.
Grab the information. The phone call. Exactly. Yeah. You get your information straight, then you can be in control of your own timeline a lot better than if you're just waiting and holding back.
Absolutely. Scotty, how can somebody reach you? If somebody had a question about buying, selling a home, what's the best way to contact you?
My cell phone number, which is basically attached to me, to my body, is 765-427-2982. You can also email it scott@silverliningregroup.com.
Absolutely. Or you can reach out to him on Facebook Messenger or, as well. So yeah, he's always available. Well, I don't want to say, he's a family man as well. So, but he's always available. He does his best to get back to people within a couple hours. Is that our 3-hour rule? I think is what we have within the team. So, hey, if you reach out to us, we'll definitely get back to you. Me and Scott, we will get back together. I do want to have a follow-up show, and we'll talk about, as a seller, where you're going to get the most bang for your buck if you're going to do some renovations, right? Whether it's for yourself or maybe you're wanting to sell in 2-3 years, where should I put my money to make sure I get the most money back? My ROI is where I need it to be. But hey, we're going to wrap this one up, put a bow on this one. Scotty, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure you being in my life personally. And then as far as the businessman, everybody loves you. This man is one of the best agents that I know. He always puts people before his own needs. He has a heart of a teacher. So if you really want to learn about making this transition from home to home or from apartment to home, he is the man you want to talk to. So I am going to let you guys go. If you have any questions, again, reach out. And if you want to have us do a show on a topic that maybe you have a question about, reach out as well to myself or Scotty. We'll be happy to cut a quick video for you. All right, you guys, take care. We'll see you.
Thanks.
Oh, I can't end. Oh my goodness. Come on now. You can tell I'm an amateur at this, right? So I got to close with our motto. Our goal is to help you reach yours. That's all it is. Always remember that our goal is to help you reach yours. All right, you guys, take care.